We got two quarterbacks in Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes going head to head in the Super Bowl for the second time in 3 years now. Jalen Hurts last time around had one of his best games as a pro. It's what earned him that massive deal he signed that last offseason. But since then, he really hasn't kind of been able to live up to those expectations that we saw coming out of that Super Bowl. And obviously they didn't win it last time around. So what needs to change for Jalen Hurts this time around for the Eagles to be hoisting that Lombardi trophy at the end of the day, Matt?
Yeah, I think it's been inconsistent since that Super Bowl. I think you mentioned that, but I think we're trending, right? I thought he played his best game of the season in the NFC Championship game. And I thought, I thought he looked in his best rhythm as a passer the entire year, right? Early on to some of those outbreaking routes that he had in rhythm, ball was out on time in front. Think of the go ball to A.J. Brown on the sideline, just an absolute dime of a throw. And so I think he needs to perform like he did last week. And it's not going to be easy, right? The challenge going against the Chiefs is they're good against the run, right? And Philly's strength is running the football. So my anticipation is Steve Spagnuolo, you're going to have 8-man spacing, 7-8-man spacing on first and second down. It's going to be opportunities for one-on-one on the outside. Can he hit those one-on-one balls like he did in the NFC Championship game? And then number two, it's about handling the pressure on third downs. We saw that at the end of the game, Josh Allen, the pressure that comes from to him on that fourth down, he makes the crazy throw. Dalton Kincaid can't come up with the catch. He's going to have to handle the pressure on third downs. He's going to have to take advantage of good throwing windows on the outside of the football field, in my opinion, on first and second down, given what they can do in the run game. I think he's trending in the right direction, though. I thought he played really, really well in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, Matt, I think it's obvious that there's going to be some advantageous looks, as we like to say, early on because of the looming and imminent threat of Saquon Barkley. So for a guy like Jalen Hurts to be able to get out there and get the ball rolling earlier and get this thing started, those momentum throws, you talked about third downs, but honestly, as an offensive lineman, for me, it was first down. What does our best run call look like? What does our best play action protection look like? And I know what it does for the mentality for the remainder of the game. So I would imagine that they're going to try to get him started early and often. Like you said, first down throws, I don't have a problem with that. You've got two real winners on the outside, and I look to see what Jalen Hurts and that offensive game plan have in store for us in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very similar to early on in the postseason, where I think they get a little tight in that they want the running game first. It's going to be Saquon Barkley first, Jalen Hurts' legs first, Jalen Hurts' arm is like a tertiary third. Basically, I think they're going to believe in their running game and defense until they get proved otherwise, until maybe they can't stop the Chiefs, until maybe they can't run the ball at will or create explosive plays on the ground. Because I just know with Jalen Hurts this season, the fumbles have been an issue, 10 fumbles. I think it's something that they worry about with him really letting the sort of training wheels off and really fully opening up this offense and letting him go toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes. I just don't see that being the case.
I believe he called it the straight jacket, not the training wheels. He said the straight jacket was off, if I heard that correctly.
Both of you guys, I gotta know. It's like having a cheat code here with the tush push, the fourth down play calling that they can turn to, which is almost, like I said, it's a cheat code. So, Matt, I mean, you talk about first down passes. Do you think that it's even more of an opportunity for them to go first down passes by nature of their ability to convert almost at will on fourth down and third and one situations?
I agree with you. I think the way they look at it is it's 1st and 8, right? Instead of 1st and 10. Because if you're inside that 2-yard, gap, if it's a long one, I think they feel like very comfortable pushing for it and getting the first. That's kind of why I like them being aggressive early. I like them taking some shots on the outside on first down, right? If you're getting these good premier looks on the outside. The other thing I would look for is running the football on third down, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 5, running the football, right? You get some of these different fronts, these exotic fronts, and Kyle, you can speak to this better than anybody, right? One of the best things you can do versus exotic fronts and blitz looks is to actually run the football, right? Because, the fits for linebackers, for defensive line from these odd spots, these unique spots that they're at are not their normal run rules, right? And so if you can go just simple inside zone, right, with the ability to pull on the backside for Jalen Hurts on 3rd and 7 and get that to 4th and 2, 4th and 1. I think Nick Sirianni, listen, I think his chips are on the table, right? He's all in, and that's kind of the way he's coached the entire year. So I do kind of look at it from their perspective and say, okay, can we be a little bit more aggressive on 1st down and give our guys some opportunities, knowing that we can still run the ball twice on 2nd and 3rd down and give ourselves a chance for the tush push on 4th.
Yeah, and those fronts that you mentioned, the exotic fronts, I'm curious to see what the Chiefs' game plan is, because the blitz looks that Washington gave. They got home a couple times, but more often than not in that game, the Eagles are picking it up, and the Eagles are uniquely qualified to pick up 5, pick up 6, better than pretty much any other offense in the NFL. And so you're kind of playing a dangerous game if you get into those too often. What do you anticipate Steve Spagnuolo's game plan is? Do we see a blitz heavy the way the Washington Commanders went? Because they blitz on over 50% of their snaps against Jalen Hurts. On those, he goes 10 of 16 for 141 yards. Basically, did not affect their game plan whatsoever. Do you think the Chiefs go that route, or do you think they just trust their front four and play coverage on the back end?
Listen, I think when you see somebody let up 55 points, the week before, your immediate reaction is say, let's do something different. I feel like Steve Spagnuolo, it's the illusion of blitz over and over and over, as opposed to the number of actual pressures that you're going to get, right? It's his ability to show you one thing and drop out and play zone coverage. Show you one thing, maybe bring those guys. Show you one thing, bring it from the other side. It's not necessarily always the blitzes that get you. It's the combination of all those things. And that's why, for me, part of that is let's run the football early on 3rd down, right? Let's see what your game plan is here. Let's see what kind of fronts you're going to come out in, and then go make our adjustments on the sideline. But I've always felt like Spags is holding them, right? He's holding these blitzes for the right time. And we saw that at the end of the AFC Championship game. Show you one way, he's brought it the other way the entire day. And then finally show you one thing and bring it from that side. So I don't think the Chiefs are going to be super aggressive. Like you said, I think Philadelphia's offensive line is excellent. I honestly think making Jalen Hurts hold the football and kind of sit there and process and go through all of those things might be your best course of action in terms of stopping them in the pass game with full zone coverage and make him kind of hit spots and hit locations. But we'll see. Spags is one of the best to ever do it. And I'm sure these 2 weeks, he'll be dialed in and ready to go.
And he can kill 2 birds with 1 stone there with the pressure package. And I meant to jump in on the exotics there, Matt. And to your point about running the football, oftentimes they can pirate or stunt themselves out of their own gaps. And it's almost an elementary level of blitz pickup in the run game relative to the passing game. So if you have a serviceable group like Philadelphia, the strength of their unit is the offensive line. They're going to be able to pick these things up and fall into these giant tractor trailer size holes for Saquon Barkley if they do elect to go with that pressure package. But in the passing game, to Matt's point, I think they're going to try to take away some of these early options for Jalen Hurts to get him out of his rhythm. And how can you do that? You bump your guys up on these receivers. You get a little bit handsy at the line of scrimmage. We've seen historically this Spags defense likes to play physically in these big games. You pair that with the fact that now Mekhi Becton's looking out at the nickel trying to figure out who the hell's coming, what the rules are for protection. That is a good way to do it. Give the illusion of pressure and then keep it in your back pocket. And like Matt said, in that Josh Allen play, you come cat from the boundary and we're all in trouble.
I will just say this. Getting your hands on A.J. Brown, easier said than done. I wouldn't want to be the guy tasked with doing that. And if we go back to last week, Chiefs, they stopped the tush push. They stopped the sneak more times than anyone has in a single game since it became a thing. Since we started tracking in 2016, 3 times. The Eagles obviously do it more than anyone else in the NFL, 10 times more than the Buffalo Bills even this regular season. Did it 6 times last Super Bowl. So we'll see how that matchup plays out. But the Chiefs obviously figured something out with how to attack that Buffalo Bills offensive line in those situations.